This is the richest, creamiest homemade ice cream recipe I have ever made. And this surprise ingredient will make your ice cream so much richer. So I'm starting with brown sugar and flour as my thickener. Now I'm going to mix these two really well together. If you don't mix your flour in with your sugar, whether you're making ice cream, pudding, pie, whatever, you're going to have problems with your sugar, with your flour floating to the top and causing lumps. And of course, you can't make anything sweet without just a little bit of salt. Okay, and you want, about a half a teaspoon of salt. Now, once I get this mixed together, I'm going to add my milk just a little bit at a time, kind of making a paste, and then gradually adding more and more milk. And once it starts coming to a simmer, then I'm going to add my eggs. I'm going to temper in my eggs. Now at this point, you may be tempted to use a wire whisk. You do not want to use a wire whisk for this. You don't want to create a lot of bubbles and foam in this. We're going to save that for the ice cream maker. My mix is just now starting to get right on the verge of simmering, and I'm going to start tempering my eggs into it. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this hot mixture. Just kind of stir it up a little bit. And I'm putting in about 1/4 of a cup at a time. I'll add a little bit more. Making sure I don't want scrambled eggs. So I'm just warming up this a little bit at a time. Okay, now I'm ready to gradually pour this in. Now I'm going to let this, I'm going to continue stirring it the whole time. I'm going to keep pouring the egg in, then I'll keep stirring it. It's going to thicken up. And once it starts thickening up, I'm going to cook it an additional 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, now I've been cooking this probably 10 or 15 minutes. And I've been putting on about medium heat. And now if while you're stirring this while you're cooking, and you happen to see like little clumps of egg floating around, just take a fork or a slotted spoon and just dip that out. Now if you had a YouTube account, you could like, subscribe, and save this recipe. Now I have completely taken this off the heat, and I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of vanilla flavoring. Now, of course, if you had a gas stove, you could just turn off the heat and leave it there. But with an electric stove, you've got to completely remove it. So I'm just going to add 2 tablespoons of vanilla. And I know that's a lot, but you know, that's what makes it really, really good. So I'm just going to stir that in. You don't want to add your vanilla flavoring while it's cooking because it'll cook out that vanilla flavoring. Okay, I have a 4-quart container, and I'm just going to pour all of this in there. Now I'm going to put this in the refrigerator for at least 2 hours, and I may just wait till tomorrow to continue making my ice cream, but I want this to be completely cool. Now notice we have not added the whipping cream yet. That comes later. But like and subscribe so I can continue to share my recipes. Okay, now I let my custard just set overnight and came back up here in the morning to make the ice cream. But as long as it's cool, that can be 2 hours, 3 hours, just however long it takes for your refrigerator to cool the custard off. Now we're going to finish it up. I have we need 4 cups of heavy whipping cream. So I'm just going to get my whisk and whisk this in really good till it's all completely mixed together. Okay, I've got my custard completely mixed, and now I'm ready to pour it in here. Put my paddle in. I want to make sure that that's centered up good. And my lid. Okay. Now the hardest part sometimes is getting this thing on. This little rival ice cream maker, I got it from Walmart. It makes about a gallon. What I want to do, I'm going to turn the motor on. I'm going to put a cup of ice on both sides of these little holes, add a 1/4 cup of rock salt to each side, and then keep layering it with ice. A layer of ice, layer of salt, layer of ice, layer of salt. Now keep adding more ice and salt as the ice melts. Now this whole process will take 20 to 40 minutes for the ice cream to finish. You will hear the motor gradually dying down as it gets closer and closer to being finished. Okay, do you hear that? The ice cream maker has stopped. And this is one of those times you don't want to be too far away because you want to be able to unplug it as soon as it stops. Okay, let me take the motor head off. Got it unplugged, put it over here. Now the first thing I want to do before I even move it, I want to wash off this cap because I don't want salt in my ice cream. I'm sure there are some gourmet cooks out there who think salted ice cream is the thing to be, but I'm not one of them. You remove the paddle and scrape off as much ice cream as you can. Okay, now I'm ready to pour it into my container. Now doesn't that look yummy? But it's not really ready to eat yet. If you tried to eat it now, it'd probably melt pretty fast as you tried to eat it. I'm going to put the lid on this and I'm going to put it in the freezer and let it set for about 2 hours, and then we'll come back and give it a taste. Just come out of the freezer, it's been in there for 2 or 3 hours, and let's see how it tastes. It's still a little soft. It hadn't hardened up real good. You're really going to have to let it set overnight to really get it really hard. It's great. Oh, it is so creamy. Got to admit, this is better than my recipe with sweetened condensed milk. Now, if I had used dark brown sugar instead of light brown sugar and increased the amount to 3 cups of brown sugar instead of 2 1/4 cups, it would have been butterscotch ice cream. Thank you so much for joining me today at Homemade Cooking in Texas. These are my favorite recipes, and I hope they will become yours. Now, if you enjoy these recipes, please like and subscribe so you can see more of these type recipes. We have been making a full-time living here on our organic farm since 1991. We need your support to continue our small family farm by liking and subscribing to our channel. Thank you so much.